Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Angry Cast and Fallout Shelter 2022. How y'all doing? Still doing the thing. We're pushing along. I think I've recorded about 4 or 5 of these in just one day, or the last 2 days, anyways. We're still playing Fallout Shelter. We're out there doing quests, kind of having fun. Hopefully, something big has happened. I don't know. Future me, when we record the video footage, it could be fun. It could be interesting. Who knows? But it made me think about something. We've been talking a lot about editing and just like me having to do this whole thing where I have to record the voice first and then do the video footage later and then put them all together and package it into something that's even palatable for anybody. But I want to just take a moment and have this particular video be sort of like a love letter to the process. I grew up in the 80s, and we did not have a lot of the fanciest of gadgets. I mean, I didn't have a Nintendo until I was 13 or 14, which would have put us about 1988, 89-ish. And that's only because I spent my own money and bought my friends for $100, and it came with, I think, Marble Madness and Excite Bike. And it didn't come with Super Mario Brothers, like when you bought the out of the store, go to Hills and you buy yourself a Nintendo Entertainment System. It was like you'd get Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers and the gun. I didn't get Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. It was an off-brand one or something, because it came with the book. It came with a book of all of the maps and stuff, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, I had that. But that's a completely different side story topic we want to talk about. But around that time, my dad got us a video camera. And this thing was the big ass honking, you sit it on your shoulder when you record. Got the microphone sitting way out in the front, and it takes a big old tape. The VCR tape, which most of you people probably don't even know what a VHS tape is these days, let alone what a video camera is. And you had to hook it up with, had a big, huge honking battery on the back of it, and you had to hook it up to the TV with those yellow and red and white cables to get the video to play through. And that was something I really, really enjoyed having. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was Adam Goldberg growing up. Which is why I probably resisted watching that show so much, because I was like, I'm going to be seen if when I start watching it. But yes, that was me. I was Adam Goldberg, and I would run around with a video camera, and I would just make all kinds of stuff. Like, after I graduated high school, and I was I think it was the year, I was one summer I wasn't really working. I think summer of '95, and my buddy and I, we would just drive around with the video camera and just film ourselves. And I was convinced I was going to turn it into some kind of a movie thing. We were trying to pull off the whole sabotage look. You know what I mean? The video Sabotage by Beastie Boys. But I spent high school, my last 2 years of high school, I spent running around with a video camera. And here's where that all came from. We had, I guess, probably about junior high, which for us was grades 7, 8, and 9. I think it's middle school now is 6, 7, and 8, but back then for us it was junior high instead of high school, and it was grades 7, 8, and 9, and we had just, I think at the end of that going into high school, that's when Channel 1 came out. Channel 1 was an educational TV program that they broadcast every morning in the classrooms, and basically it was just a 20-minute during homeroom, just a recount of the news. And go Google Channel 1 Anderson Cooper. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, he was one of the hosts. It was educational, MTV VJs. And Kathy Cronenberger, and I think one of the Ling sisters was one of them, I think. Not sure if it was Lisa Ling or her sister. I don't remember which one. But anyways, we had these TVs, and I said to, I was in what, we call it an impact. It was a gifted class. It was the class where kids, the weird nerd kids went and did something, played with rockets and D&D for a school day out of the week. But we had these TVs in every classroom, and I said to our teacher, I said, that Channel 1 is one thing, but I think we can do better. I think we could do better. We could do announcements. We could have like all of the, we could do what's on the menu. We could do what's the sporting events that we could give highlights, stuff like that. We could do all that. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I can see what you're going with that. And I said, all I need to do is have a video camera, and I could put together a montage for an opening. I'll find one of the band kids that can play piano and say, can you make me some music? And then we will have, an intro, and I can use the computer to make graphics and stuff like that. And then we had two rooms for the class, and one was where we had the classroom. The other one was like more of like a lab, where the keyboard and all the other fun stuff was at. So I'm actually at my destination. Give me one moment. We'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And if the acoustics sound a little bit different, that is because I am actually in the house, the new house. I've told you before I went over to fill up the water jugs with the Culligan, and since I'm paying for 2 garbage pickups, I might as well use them. So I'm just now filling up our Culligan jugs to take home because our water sucks. But anyways, where were we? Yes, I could do that. I can make that happen. We got 2 rooms, one with the classroom where we can set up tables and sit behind it, and everybody can sit there and say, good morning, everybody. Welcome to high school, and here's today's announcements, and here's the menu. Don't eat the meat. That kind of stuff. And meanwhile, I was in the other room with a switcher to say, okay, like camera 1, get ready, play the intro. All right, now switch to camera 1. So, and that's what I did. I found one of the underclassmen. I was a junior, he was a sophomore. And I said, look, I'm putting together this whole idea about a newscast. Can we come up with some music to play, and I will do like some computer animation or whatever to have us some titles to say, the morning news brought to you by blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. And he's like, yes, cool. So he put together some keyboard stuff, and I made I forget what the name of the program was. It was on Apple II. That's how long ago this was. An Apple II. I put it together, this intro title credits, and then we clicked over, and then people would talk, and we had it all already set up and great to go. And that was like, for the first year, we had the morning news. And then I thought, you know what? I like this, but I think we can do better. I think we can do even better than that. So that's where I took that whole idea of me running around with a video camera and went to like new heights. And I talked to like the sports team and said, hey, if you got some clips from good stuff, give me some clips. I want to put together. And I was going to create like an opening of people around the school, walking around, catching people on camera, everything like that, and then like put music behind it. And this was like 1992, 93. Nobody cared about copyright. Nobody was going to get monetized from this stuff. This wasn't YouTube. We hadn't even thought of YouTube yet. So I was putting it to like, I had what was one of them? Oh, the Dare from the Transformers, the movie soundtrack. That was one of them. I had some Stevie Ray Vaughan. We had all kinds of fun stuff on those, and I wish I could find them because they're on a videotape somewhere in my house. I'd have to convert them, but it would be awesome to see those again. So then we did all that, and I was like, I'd spend probably good 3 or 4 periods of school instead of actually doing anything. I was running around filming everybody. Not creepy at all. Not at all. But that's the kind of stuff I enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed being a videographer and doing all that. In fact, I did a couple weddings. My mom's high school reunion when I was that summer I wasn't working. I did their high school reunion. That was right after Forrest Gump came out. So I did this whole thing where I was like sitting at a bench and I'd open up their yearbook and a feather flew out. The whole shebang. Again, we didn't care about copyright back then. I wasn't going to sell it. But it's only natural to see the progression of that sort of innate desire to be creative and editing and like mixing together, video and music and all that and edit it all together. I should have seen the progression towards being a content producer or content creator on YouTube. That's why I thought that, when I would strike out and do the Angry Cast 9 years ago, that it was going to be a success because like I can do this. And that's the one thing I do think I have as far as quality over other channels out there. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or be arrogant about it. I mean, I know I suck. I know that I'll never make a lot of money off of this kind of idea. And not that I really want to have that, that fame. I kind of like my anonymity the way it is. But the idea being that I spend a lot of time putting together the titles and the bumpers and trying to get the editing right. And I know I don't have the best of equipment. I have, I bought Fraps, F-A-R-P-S, 9 years ago for $36. I use Windows Live Movie Maker that came with Windows 7. And Windows 10 version, you have to pay for to get anything good out of it. I don't have Sony Vegas. I don't have Premiere. I don't have any of that stuff. I'm using $36 in free software and a $36 headset from Staples and hundreds of dollars worth of external hard drives for all the crap that I'm filming. But at the end of the day, I got to put it all together. And I kind of like making that happen. I kind of like making the laws and the sausages. I kind of like editing and finding a graphic to put the titling over and have that, that time where I'm piecing together a title and then finding the music. And it started out, Kevin MacLeod was like, he is like the John Williams of Creative Commons licensing music. I mean, he does a lot of great work. He's done a whole entire game. If you've ever played, I think, The Bridge, he did the entire soundtrack for that. And his music is in a lot of things. And I've even heard it in commercials. I mean, my God, the polka that, Rooster Teeth that has technical difficulties. The polka, that's his music. Glee Club Polka, that's his song. It's free. You just have to go, give him credit in your, in your video that you did music by Kevin MacLeod. And I love his music. And all the music we've been using in GTA, some of the more harder edged disco and dance music and all that stuff, he's been doing it, and it's been awesome. And I liked putting all that music at the beginning of my videos and having all that. And then I came up with this idea, like when we were doing the old Minecraft stuff, the original Minecraft stuff. It was all this sneaky stuff, and those are all funny shit. I used to put that music behind, like, there's just me sneaking around and doing stuff. And oh my gosh, I think that elevated the quality of what I was doing, even though it wasn't all that great. I really polished the turd as much as you could to get a high shine on it. and then at some point, I thought, you know what? I think I can get away with this. I mean, if I can have the music from the game, and as long as it's not like Grand Theft Auto, you turn it on the radio stations, or Lego Jurassic Park that I got dinged for because the music from that, like some of the more noticeable music. Game of Thrones, I kept getting dinged on because I kept getting hit with monetization shit and copyright stuff because of the soundtrack. It was all music from that guy that did the sound, the opening theme, which dude, I bought the game, the music is in the game, the licensing was already paid for. All I'm doing is just replaying what you've already paid for. I'm not making any money off of it as it is. But I guess that's probably something that I probably shouldn't have done. I don't know. But that being said, I thought it would be a great idea to say, you know what? I started playing Portal. And I started playing, I don't forget where we started that at. It wasn't even 7 Days to Die because I know Limbo had the original, it's the Kevin MacLeod music. But at some point I thought that if I just find the game files for the music, and it's the music that just plays me in is from the game, and sometimes continue. I think it was probably it was right around the time of No Man's Sky, because I love that one clip that I used for the intro. I think it's beautiful music. I think the entire soundtrack to that game is beautiful. It's awesome. But the idea was to say, you know what? We're going to pull a game file. We're going to just play you in over top of the titles and the title card and the thumbnail, and then just go into the game. And I try to keep to just in-game music and Kevin MacLeod. If anything else that is in there, I try to give the attribution to it. And make sure that I'm compensating somebody however I can, the best way I can. So I don't think that that's a problem, but I think it elevates the process, because it's great stuff. Like Fallout. Oh my God, the beginning to Fallout and Fallout Shelter. I think Fallout Shelter was one of the first ones I really did that with. I'm pretty sure. Fallout Shelter was, as soon as I figured out how to get the music to Fallout Shelter, that opening bit was it. And then with the slide, and then finding the slide sound effect and putting that in there, that is quality, I think. And it's all just with free stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this love letter is I'm saying a love letter to myself, because I love what I do in those senses. I love that I put together this stuff. I love that I put it out there for you. I wish it was better received, but I can only hope for so much. And it is what it is, and I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can. It's something I've always enjoyed doing. I've always enjoyed putting together media like that, like music and video and pictures and everything. And it really is a joy. Like me designing T-shirts and stuff like that's real fun too. But just there's something about that creative spark when you're grabbing footage that you've done and you make a story out of it. You weave that tale, that narrative of here's a setup to the plot, and then here's the twist maybe, and here's the stinger, and then here's the payoff at the end, the climax. I mean, we did that with the Minecraft The Return. That was the whole idea, was sort of a mockumentary style idea of we're doing this series about me playing Minecraft from a story of a guy who lost his cat and he's trying to get him back. But it was the behind the scenes kind of stuff while we were playing, and it was sort of like hey, here's a tutorial kind of thing. And like I said, I'm not a great teacher. I'm a horrible teacher, but I thought that was at least something that I could partake upon you, the idea that I could show you how to make quality, and I want you to take it, not do what I'm doing. I want you to take it and go from there and make it your own, make it better. Learn and build upon what I am maybe doing and make yourself a better content creator. And that's kind of the point. Because everything has always been about, and in fact, that's the secret about the show. It's that Randy guy. He was a teacher from Carnegie Mellon. He had an incurable form of cancer, something like that, brain cancer, and he ended up on the Star Trek, the revival Star Trek movie. And I forget the name of the damn book he read, because I read it and it brings me to tears every time I think about it. But the last lecture, I think it was called, and he didn't give the last lecture as a lecture for his students. It was for his kids. It was for something to leave behind for his kids, because he knew he wasn't going to be around. And then, I'm not saying you're my children and all that. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm trying to say this channel, this experiment, this entire journey from 2013 on of the Angry Cast has been about how to make quality content with very little budget, just pouring your heart into it. And that's been the entire journey I've been trying to go upon and bring you along with me. When I say we, that's the biggest thing. That's the word that you need to key in on. When I talk to us, when I talk to you, when I talk to anybody, when I'm doing a video, and I say we, it's because you're with me. You're with me the entire time. It's the never-ending story, and I'm bringing I'm bringing Bastion along with me into the swamps of sadness and to see the Southern Oracle. That's the whole point. You're going on that journey with me. So you're part of that we. You are part of that group that is doing this, and I want you to know that that's a big, important thing to me. You're part of this, and I cannot tell you enough how much it makes me happy to know that if there's somebody out there enjoying it, and I've seen the comments, and I thank you. I thank you so much. In fact, the fact that the first video I had to do with this stupid way of recording the voiceover earlier, and thank you, and I really and I don't have, and I'm sorry, I don't have their name right now in my head. I need to go back and like that comment more and reply to them. But somebody was nice enough to pass along that they hoped everything was going good, and that Megan was going to be fine, and the dog's going to be fine, and they are, and they'll be fine. We'll make it through this because these are first world problems, really. We got like 3 more weeks maybe of this, and then we're back out, and then I got to figure out a way to, not do this and do the regular thing, because I think that'd be better for the the content. But I get a big kick out of it, and I love the fact that the people are commenting again and telling me how much they enjoy the videos, and that means so much to me. It really does. I know I keep talking about, hey, buy me a coffee, and hey, get me this, and hey, go buy a shirt, and all like that. At the end of the day, I can't quantify what it means when you like or you comment and you give me praise and you just, and I have a hard time accepting it. I have a hard time looking at those comments and thinking that I'm deserving of that, or that, it's genuine in some way. And that's for me to figure out. I pay somebody to figure that out for me. I think we all should. You should all have somebody you pay to help you figure out your problems. But that means a lot to me that you guys do that. You girls do that. Everyone does that. I'm glad we do this for each other. So that's about 22 minutes. I think we're going to call it there. Hopefully we didn't die on any quests. Everybody made it okay. We get no death claws leaving any kind of things on us and radiation and all that. But we'll see you next time. I want to thank you all for coming on this journey with me. Appreciate it. Love y'all. Have a good day. Take care of each other. Take care of the planet. Take care of yourselves. And we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.